What's up, everybody? This video is another video in the Programming Fundamental series, and it's on methods. Um, Methods are really good to use in programming, and they're really nice to have in your code. Essentially, what a method or a function, methods and functions are very similar. Essentially, what a method is, and I'm just going to give you an example here. You're going to have, let's just a name for it, and then you're going to have some code, and then anytime in your Java program, in the file, in your class file, you can call this name to do this code so you don't have to keep rewriting code. It can return a value or it doesn't have to return a value. And you can pass, these are called parameters, essentially values into your function. And I'm going to show you an example here. In every programming language, how you make a method is a little different with the syntax, but I'm just going to do pseudocode, which is just kind of like the English language of writing code with no particular syntax. So let's say you have a code that calculates the sales tax, and you do this equation where you take the cost of a product and the state tax, and then you get the total cost. So, for example, if a product costs $2.99 and state tax is 0.06, the total cost would be $2.99 would be 316.94. Now let's say you write a program that does that equation, and the equation would be cost times tax equals tax. Let me rewrite it, I'm sorry. It would be tax equals cost times tax, and then it would be cost, I'll call this rate, plus tax would equal total. So let's say this is your function, this is your equation. Let's say you have a program that calls that over and over and over. So what you can do is you can write a program, or I'm sorry, you can write a method. You can state it's going to return a double, meaning it's a decimal value, or it could be an integer with a decimal. And then you're going to call it sales tax. And then you're going to pass in a decimal value or integer value of a cost. And you're going to pass in a state tax called tax rate. And then in here, you're going to do your equation where we're going to call this double tax equals cost times tax rate. And then we're going to go double total equals tax plus cost, and we're going to return, which returns a keyword, cost. So this is a method right here that you can write in your code and be able to call it anywhere in your code files. So in your actual method code, you can say, oh, I need to call sales tax. So you can say, so you have, let's just say you have a variable cost, which equals $2.99. You have a variable tax, which equals 0.06, and then you want to find the total cost. So you would do in your code, you would do total equals sales tax, and then you would pass in this variable, which is cost, and you have to pass it in the order it's put in here, and then you would pass in tax, and when you call that, it's going to so when in your code you're going to do this it's going to do this first, and then it's going to do this variable first, and then it's going to come down to this method. It's going to look for the method, and this method's going to be above it. It's going to come down into the method, and now this cost variable is this value. This tax rate is this value. So then it's going to calculate the tax, it's going to total it, and it's going to return 316.94. And now this total is 316.94. So these variables here, the value of these variables are going to be whatever you pass in here. They're called parameters. So guys, that's pretty much everything for methods and functions. They're really good to use so you can reuse code. That's everything for this video, guys. Give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.